Hey guys, Katie here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an Am I the Asshole video, and we are doing animals part 2. So, we're going to do 2 different Am I the Asshole posts. Okay, this is Am I the Asshole for refusing an animal as a gift? Reddit has dubbed this person not the asshole, so we'll see what we think. My husband wanted to surprise me for Mother's Day with a gift I got to pick out. He takes me and our son to Petco. I'm shocked he would do something this sweet for me, as I love animals and really wanted a pair of parakeets, but I told him I appreciated the gesture, but I wouldn't have time for it, nor do I believe it would be a good financial move. He then said how hard is it to take care of a bird, and the pet supplies needed wouldn't be a problem, plus he's going to be inheriting and running a motorcycle shop, but we already have a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old puppy. Besides taking care of our toddler while he takes care of the dog, I just barely have enough time for anyone else, let alone myself. Just the other day, he was venting about having to spend $50 on a flea tick collar for our dog after he rolled in fox poop. Turns out we were just able to clean it and didn't have to buy another, but still. So because I was being responsible and honest with myself, he said I was instead kind of rude for rejecting his gift to me. And I said animals are different, but he was butthurt, and I started to think about things and said I could make time for them, I can work it out, plus he most likely would take care of them too. But I didn't want him to have to worry about that on top of everything else. But then he said, nope, I'm over it now, never mind, you said you didn't want them. Then he proceeded the rest of the day mad at me for wasting our time at Petco while he had yard work he had to get done, and for being rude rejecting his gift. I'm gonna go along with Reddit and say no, you're not the asshole. You know, a pet should be something that is talked upon, or talked about, you know, with all the members of the family, especially, you know, the adults of the family. You have a 2-year-old. They're not going to be taking care of birds. So it definitely should have been like a joint decision, like, hey, this is what we're doing, this is the responsibilities. And if he's already venting about having to spend $50 for a collar for their dog, or for your dog, yeah, I think he would, especially how he's acting, I feel like he would, anything that went wrong with the birds, he would be like, oh, well, they're your birds, and blah, 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 blah. I do think he's kind of like gaslighting you, or kind of being like, I don't know, he's being a jerk about it. You know, the whole time, nope, I'm over it now, never mind, you said you didn't want them. And to say it's Mother's Day and you wasted his time at Petco when he could have been doing yard work. Isn't the point of Mother's Day to spend time with, like, the mothers in your life? Like, why would you ignore her? Like, take care of your 2-year-old son on Mother's Day. Or your 2-year-old, sorry. Yeah, it did say son, okay. Take care of your 2-year-old son on Mother's Day, so your wife can get some work, or some rest, instead of being like, oh, I could have been doing yard work. Yeah, no, I agree with Reddit, not the asshole. But now we're going to take a look at some of the comments. This comment said, not the asshole, your husband didn't think the gift through and you did. You weren't rude, you were reasonable. His reaction is out of line and immature if you ask me. Pets should never be gifts. And someone else said, unless it's previously discussed and the recipient is 100% on board. But in this case, hubby didn't communicate well. And clearly OP was not on board. It would be different if they talked about it in advance and OP literally said, hey hubby, I would really like that bird we've been talking about getting for my birthday. Someone else said, 100%, here's some extra responsibility and work for you. Happy Mother's Day. What do you mean you don't want that? Pouts. Animals should never be a surprise gift. They should only be added to the family after careful consideration and thoughtful discussion. Let's see. Someone said, not the asshole, pets absolutely can't be surprise gifts to any person who will be responsible for caring for them. It sounds like he's never had a bird too. They can be a handful depending on the personalities. And OP responds with, he's actually had many pets growing up, all kinds, reptiles, birds, rabbits, dogs, cats. But he has his responsibilities and I have mine. But I do believe animals, especially birds, need human socialization and stimulation. And I didn't think I could give them that, although if we got a pair, they would have each other. And someone responded, that's still not how they work. Even if they are a bonded pair, they'd still need a minimum of 4 hours human contact a day. Someone said, not the asshole, but I don't think the would-be gift is the real issue. OP, is couples counseling an option? Your husband needs to express what's really going on for him. And OP responded, I was pretty confused at him getting mad at me for being responsible and honest when just the other day he was bitching about finances. And then when I changed my mind, he then said, no, never mind, but I don't know exactly what you call someone like that. It's called a narcissist. And I'm looking into counseling because we have other problems as well. And when we got home, I wanted to cry and was more upset because I felt like I ruined his day and wasted his time and made him mad. Wasn't it Mother's Day? Why would you worry about his day being ruined? Was your day ruined? Because it was your day, not his. Yeah, I don't get why he's so upset. Like, he was fine and dandy when it was his idea, but when she was like, you know what, maybe I can make time, then he was like, nope, I'm not doing it. You put down my idea, we're not doing it. It's like, who's the kid here? The 2-year-old or the husband? Okay, the next one we're going to do is, am I the asshole for reporting my mom to animal control because I want her dogs taken away? Reddit has dubbed this person not the asshole, so let's see what we think. My mom has an unhealthy addiction to new dogs. She's constantly bringing home new dogs and trading out older ones, and one of her Great Danes had a large litter of puppies a few months ago. Her house is full of dogs. It's also full of her grandchildren. My sister has 5 kids and lives with our mom. The dogs are untrained and primarily kept indoors. There isn't a corner or couch in the house that isn't regularly drenched in dog piss or shit. My nieces and nephews play around this and often end up slipping or stepping into puddles and piles of dog poop waste. I visited with my kids recently, and when we got home, their clothes, and mine, reeked of dog piss. Just from being on furniture in the house. My siblings who still live at home with my mom all wish the dogs were gone, but they're dependent on her for housing. Those siblings are also tasked with caring for the dogs since my mom will not care for them herself. After my most recent visit to the house, my sister expressed her frustration, feeling that she can't provide a clean home for her kids at our mom's, but she's otherwise unable to provide a home big enough for their family of 7. I was the scapegoat in my family growing up and into early adulthood, and my relationship with my mom was essentially non-existent. Up to today, my mother expressed that she only ever wanted a superficial relationship with me, which I told her I wasn't willing to maintain. I'm already the bad guy in her eyes, and since no one else could get through to her about her dogs and providing a clean, sanitary home for the people she has living with her, I decided the best thing I could do for my nieces and nephews was try to have the dogs forcibly removed. I informed my mom that I was doing this for the health and safety of the kids and got the usual explosive response. As of this moment, there's about 10 dogs in the house, 10 people living there, 5 of which are kids, 5 and under. They live in literal piss and shit. Am I the asshole for reporting her to animal control? And she puts, dogs are still currently in the home. So by reading this, I would say no, not the asshole. As much as I hate the thought of dogs or animals in general having to be put in shelters, because ultimately that's where they'll end up. Because if they're untrained, no one is going to want to take them. And yeah, it's just, that's a bad situation to have all these untrained dogs. that are going to end up in shelters for a long time or euthanized. But at the same time, you have to think about the kids that are in that house. And if, you know, your mom is okay providing housing for all your siblings, especially the ones that I assume they're underage, you know, it's just, the house has to be clean enough. Like, you can't have dog poop and dog pee everywhere. And with the kids slipping in it and stepping in it, that's disgusting to me. Yeah, I would do the same thing. Like, so I don't think this person's the asshole. Let's read some of the comments. This one said, not the asshole, dial faster, this isn't good for the children or the dogs. And if animal control comes in and sees that, I believe they will have to contact CPS, but it's just as much sister's fault for keeping her kids in that environment and not resolving the problem long ago or leaving. With that comment, you can't always leave. You know, she's got a family of 7, and it's not easy, especially when you don't have the finances. And, you know, I have a gut feeling that this mom is very much, this is my house kind of thing. So, you know, the sister cleaning up after the dogs or trying to train them, and, you know, all of that, I don't think would be received very well from the mother. So I literally don't think there's anything that the sister could do. But yeah, it would be a huge problem if animal control came in, because they would call CPS for what the condition sounds like. Someone else said, I do feel sorry for the dogs, but if your mom can't keep the place clean, I would call the authorities as well. Those poor kids can have serious health issues living under the conditions you mentioned. OP responds with, my fear with is breaking up my sister's kids. She's not a bad mom by any means, but she's immensely dependent on our mom for support. I've considered contacting CPS before, but I don't know if I could stomach the potential outcomes. There's otherwise no abuse or neglect I'm aware of in the home, so I was hoping the dogs could just be taken away. And that person replied, can't your mother be reasoned with if all family agrees that the dogs are too difficult to maintain? OP comes back with, I'd need my own sub to explain my mom's issues. She's definitely unreasonable. Got it, yeah, it is complicated because your siblings depend on housing. Did you talk to your sister about calling animal control? OP said, I didn't tell her I was considering calling, but she's expressed a number of times that she wished she could call. She could have, but there have been backlash. Unfortunately, animal control showed up and didn't decide to remove the dogs. I can't imagine why they wouldn't have, but I'm hoping my mom at least recognizes the harm it's causing everyone in her home. Someone said, I would never step one foot in that house. I can't believe you took your children there. Can't believe your family lives there. I don't know how any of this came to be, but I would cut bait and run from this whole mess. You can call animal control and they'll remove the dogs, but it sounds like your mom will get more. Your sister has 5 kids that she can't afford. She doesn't seem to be doing anything to rectify the situation. And frankly, if she's letting her kids live in an environment, she should get them taken away. Your mom's house sounds like what people worry about with foster care. I'm picturing one of the animal hoarder houses on that show, Hoarders. And I'm so angry on behalf of those kids right now. There's a good chance the kids will be better off out of that house. Everyone else in your family seems to be failing them. There are too many people in this house, too many animals, and apparently not any sense. You can't save anyone, save yourself. And someone said, if just a visit left your kids' clothes smelling like dog piss, I guarantee you it's only a matter of time before a teacher, counselor, pediatrician, etc. smells it on your sister's kids and reports it to CPS. Probably the fact that they're all under 5 and not in school yet is the only reason it hasn't happened yet. You're not the asshole for calling animal control because these conditions are not good for the dogs at all, but you need to be prepared for CPS to get involved too. Another comment says, not the asshole. However, it may also be worth taking to your sister about the risk to her kids and the fact that someone may call child services if things don't improve. Where I am, normally the aim would be to improve things so the children could remain with their parent, and removing them would be a last resort. But if things would be different where you are, that may affect your decision. Would it be possible for your sister and any other adult sibling to take practical steps such as cleaning more, maybe getting dog gates to keep the dogs out of bedrooms, etc., to limit where in the house they can go? OP responded with, regarding the cleaning, I have a brother who lives at home who tends to be the one cleaning up after the dogs. But with that many dogs, there's constantly fresh piles and puddles throughout the house. With dog gates, most of the dogs present are Great Danes. They've broken or stepped over any gates they put up. There's just too many dogs and too big. So yeah, I don't think you're the asshole. I think, it's potentially very, very dangerous for the kids in that house. Especially if these dogs are mostly Great Danes and they're untrained. These kids could seriously get hurt. Not that Great Danes are usually aggressive, but they're big enough to really hurt a kid under 5 years old. If, not trained, and you said they were untrained. It's also dangerous for, their health being in that kind of environment. So, I don't think you're the asshole for calling, but, your family will think that. So, yeah, what did you guys think about these stories? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.